Hello people, today I'm going to show you the Kundli, the birth chart of Titanic. Yes, you heard it right. I'm going to show you the Kundli, the birth chart of Titanic, and we are going to analyze it. I'm going to show what are the planets that caused that disaster, and I will also discuss about could it have been avoided with astrology, with the help of astrology, and what was the planet and things that were involved in making that disaster happen. What was entirely wrong with the Titanic astrologically. Let's begin. This is a chart of Titanic when the Titanic was launched. The Titanic was introduced to public on May 31, 1911, and the time was 12:13 p.m. This should be considered as the launch or the birth time of Titanic. So I have taken this as birth chart. Not just this, I will also show you another chart of Titanic, and in that chart also the destruction of Titanic can be easily seen. Let me first show you that what is wrong with this particular chart. So you can see when the Titanic was launched, the Lagna was Leo. Leo sign was in the Lagna, and the Lagna Lord was in the 10th house. You may say that Lagna Lord being in the 10th house is a very good thing. Yes, definitely it's a good thing. But look at the problems Lagna is facing. The Lagna is in an enemy sign. Okay, Lagna is the Lagna is stuck between the enemies. Venus is the enemy of Lagna. Saturn, Rahu are the enemy of Lagna. Lagna Lord. I'm sorry. The Lagna Lord is stuck between enemies. That is Venus and Rahu and Saturn. These three planets are enemy of Sun, and it is stuck or neighbored by enemies, which means the Lagna is not happy. The Lagna is not feeling good. The Lagna is not in its original happy state. The Lagna Lord is in an enemy sign and surrounded by the enemies. Definitely, it is not a good sign for the Lagna. Okay, and now let's see the fourth house. Fourth house is the original house of vehicles. We will also consider fourth house here. Look at the Lord of the fourth house. He is sitting in the eighth house. And what eighth house represents? Death, disasters, sudden transformations, suddenly things happening, some secrets. So eighth house represents the sudden change. If there is any sudden disaster that is going to happen, that is going to come from the eighth house, because eighth house is the original house of sudden events. Okay, so the it was clearly seen at the time of Titanic's launch that the Lagna is very much in trouble, and the fourth house, who is the Karaka of vehicles, the fourth house lord is also in the eighth house, which is not definitely not a good house for a fourth lord to be in. Another disastrous thing in this chart is Gulika and Mandi in Lagna. So Gulika and Mandi in Lagna is definitely not a good sign. Let me show you how this particular Kundli clearly shows the time period of that disaster. Let's check the Dasha of this Kundli. The Titanic got struck by the iceberg at 11 p.m. I think so. It was 11 p.m. Yes, and the date was April 14th, 1912. So this was the time and date when the Titanic got stuck with the iceberg. So the Titanic was launched in Jupiter Mahadasha, and Jupiter Mahadasha was going on. How Jupiter is in this chart? Jupiter lost the eighth house. So eighth house is what? That sudden disasters, sudden mishappenings, transformation. Okay, and fifth house, definitely it lords the fifth house, which is a good sign, which is a good thing. But where Jupiter is sitting in the third house, that too with Ketu. Ketu, who represents uh, death and destruction, cuts, divergence. So accidents, these are represented by Ketu. So Jupiter can also not be said in a very good position, because Jupiter you can see also sitting in an enemy sign. So the Jupiter Mahadasha was going on, and you can see the Rahu Antardasha was going on at that time. So Rahu Antardasha was going, and you can see it was April 2012. So Saturn Pratyantar Dasha was going on, and definitely you can see Rahu is what? The Maraka, co-lord of 7th house, and Saturn is what? Maraka, co-lord of 7th sorry, lord of 7th house. So both the Maraka Dasha are there. 8th house Mahadasha is there, who is sitting with the Ketu. So complete destruction is on the way, you can clearly see. And then you will see that Rahu Sukshma Dasha. So Rahu Sukshma Dasha came, and that too, the accident happened on Saturn Pranadasha. Now you can clearly see how the time of launch have just shown how much difficult time it was for the Titanic. And you can see even in the Deh Antardasha, Rahu timing was going on. At on 14th April, from 2 p.m. to 1 a.m., the Titanic struck with the iceberg at 11 p.m. approx. You can see how clearly it is visible that Rahu Saturn caused the entire disaster. And you may ask that why Rahu Saturn? They don't have a direct impact with Lagna. No, it's not true. Rahu is aspecting the Lagna with its fifth aspect. And Rahu's aspect also brings the energies of Saturn because of the conjunction. Okay, so the Lagna is also being directly hitted by the energies of Rahu and Saturn. Let me show you another chart when the Titanic has started its journey, and you will see that how difficult, how dangerous that chart was. Any Vedic astrologer, if would have been consulted at that time, the disaster could have been avoided. So this is the chart when the journey of Titanic started. The Titanic's journey started on April 10, 1912, 12 p.m. Let me show you my analysis. So again, let's begin with Lagna. You can see Monday is here. Monday, Gulika is in the 12th house this time. Fine, but the Monday is here. So the effect of Monday Gulika thing is still there. Let me show you other things. Lagna. What is Lagna? Cancer Lagna. Okay. Now, which is lorded by Moon. It is sitting in the 7th house of Maraka. Fine. Lagna is sitting in the 7th house of Maraka. Fine. So Moon is in an enemy sign. So it's a Maraka house and enemy sign. 2 points where Moon doesn't feel happy. Now Ketu aspects Moon with its fifth aspect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means Ketu aspects the Lagna Lord Moon. First point, he's in the Maraka house. Second point, he's in enemy sign. Third point, Ketu aspects the Lagna Lord. Okay, fine. Now, Mars aspects the Lagna Lord Moon with its eighth aspect, which is very dangerous aspect. Mars 8th aspect is very dangerous aspect, and Mars is sitting in the 12th house. Remember, 12th house is the final house, is the last house, shows liberation. Okay, and 8th aspect of Mars shows death, transformation, sudden transformation, accidents, and whatnot. Look at the Saturn. Saturn has its 10th aspect on Moon. Whoa. Ketu, then Mars, then Saturn. Fine, it is the fifth point. Saturn is aspecting the Moon with its 10th aspect. Now, even in this chart, we will analyze the fourth house, and we will analyze the condition of fourth house because we are analyzing a vehicle. Okay, so what is the condition of fourth house? The fourth house is being aspected by Saturn. Saturn is what? Saturn is the lord of seventh house. Saturn is a Maraka. So he's aspecting the fourth house. Fine. Okay. So the fourth house lord, Venus, is sitting in the ninth house in an enemy sign with enemy sun, who is lord of second house, which is a highest Maraka house. Second house is highest Maraka house. Sun becomes highest Maraka also here, and Rahu is obviously a mischievous planet, so it brings a lot of burden and a lot of difficulties on the fourth house. So the condition of fourth house is clearly not good here. So the next question which arises here is, whatever happened with Titanic, was it inevitable or it could have been avoided? Well, I think the accident could have been avoided, but how that could have been possible? We have seen that how the launching time works as the birth chart, and the starting journey time becomes the transit chart for the Titanic. So we have seen that how the launching time of Titanic has worked as a birth chart, and obviously the transit chart will be made for the time when Titanic started its journey. So these two charts represents that these two times are very important. So if the time of launching could have been changed to a time where the Lagna and the fourth house were in a safe position, and the time of starting the journey could have been changed to the time where the Lagna and the fourth house have been in the safe position, then definitely the disaster, the accident of Titanic could have been avoided. So this was my all analysis about Titanic. If you have liked my analysis, please do let me know by hitting the subscribe button and giving a thumbs up to this video, and do let me know your thoughts on this video in the comment box. Thank you. See you next time. Jai Shri Ganesh.